Coming up on the GenGAMEcast, we decide what really is DLC. Robert Bowling is 404, and we talk about Super Monday Night Combat. Trust me, the discussion does not get sidetracked at all. You're gonna have to believe me on this one. All that and more coming up on the GenGAMEcast. Hey, and welcome to the GenGAMEcast for Tuesday, April 3rd, 2012. We're back with video! How exciting is that, guys?
Yay!
Mildly to moderately exciting.
Of course, this is the week in gaming according to us. I'm Trevor Mignani, and today joining me with some of the most excellent commentary on this side of the internet, Kevin O'Rourke, Benny Gerard, and Kyle Wrigley, whose video is now working! Start with Kev. What's up, Kev?
Not much. What's up with you?
Same old here. It's the podcast production and getting things back up and running again. It's exciting. I'm glad that we got video back.
I'm glad too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see red and yellow.
Yes.
Up there.
Well, that would be
on
color.
top of my printer.
We got Benny Gerard, who has been waiting for the opportunity to get a picture up, but we're gonna come back to him because Riggs, I think he's got you outdone. Look at that. I mean, it is like mad pixelated, but you could still make out that is a giant ass pig.
That's right. It's a giant ass pig.
So, Riggs, what have you been up to lately?
I've been playing Super Monday Night Combat, Modern Warfare 3, Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare. Denise forced me to play a little bit of Angry Birds Space, and I begrudgingly admit that I enjoyed it.
All right. Kev, what games have you been doing recently?
I've been playing, this is a long list, Assassin's Creed, Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Again, Kev, should I be taking notes on this?
You should.
Okay. So
Assassin's Creed, Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Okay.
Some Minecraft, Pokemon White, Halo Reach, Pokemon Snap.
Oh my god.
There's another one there. It'll come to me in a little bit.
Reaching into the archives for that one.
That's it.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. Did I say Jedi Knight too?
You said it now.
Star Wars somewhere.
Did I? Star Wars something. Lots of Star Wars.
The Wars.
You pulled off a lot this week, Kev.
What?
I commend you. You've pulled off a lot this week.
Well, you know what? That's like several weeks of not doing a podcast.
That's true. Games. That's what it'll do for you. I
I
have quite a list too, but we'll wait for Benny to tell us what he's been up to.
I don't have quite an impressive list because it's the same every single week with the new edition.
Hang on. It's got to have League of Legends and Minecraft on there.
It's League of Legends, Minecraft, WoTor, Assassin's Creed also. I mean, I went and I bought that because I've got this lovely thing to look forward to.
Ooh, lucky you.
Deal. And then replaying the original Legend of Zelda. So,
ooh,
doing that in a
throwback.
Nostalgia, so yeah,
Kevin's got his Assassin's Creed.
But yeah,
I have like all the copies of the games I've been playing like right near me.
So I think what I've been playing could be wrapped up nicely with this controller here and this box here. And if you're not watching the video, it's Super Mario 64 and StarCraft 2. And apparently I'm doing it in the wrong order. I'm supposed to apparently get good at Super Mario 64, then suck at StarCraft. Apologies, everybody. It won't happen again. Let's move on to this week in news because a lot has happened and we couldn't really talk about it all, so we're going to kind of just cherry pick some of our favorites. So, apparently people are pissed off at Capcom, and some reports have been filed with the Better Business Bureau about the inclusion, or rather locking, of DLC content on the disc of their latest fighting game, Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah.
I almost said Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Or the special edition?
This is all
the
editions.
regular edition.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they have yet to make a special edition.
So is the special edition going to
come.
have all this extra content on there?
Oh, it's already on the disc. So all editions have it. It's just if you You have to
like
pay
if you buy
for it.
special edition, you unlock that automatic without paying extra.
Oh yeah, because you're paying for it up front.
because they'll eventually drop the price of the regular game, then they'll have their special edition or whatever, ultimate edition, what it is, and they'll have all this extra stuff in there that you were supposed to get with the first game and you didn't because I don't know. They're dumb.
I don't know, Riggs. What do you think about this?
I mean, I can kind of see both sides of the argument. If the core game was finished and then they had a little bit of time extra before shipping and they wanted to work on, some more content and then stick it on the disc so people don't have to download it, that's understandable. But the other side is when people buy a game, they expect that everything on the disc is going to be theirs. And, while this is understandable but annoying, how long is it going to be before half the content on the disc is locked behind a paywall?
Yeah, I think this is more of a slippery slope situation where if one developer is going to get away with it without too big of an uproar, what's going to stop the next one from doing it? And then the next one. And then eventually it's going to be like a freemium game where you get the disc and it's like, oh, but if you want to have this weapon, it's a $4.99 DLC.
Yeah.
That's actually on the disc and you're just buying a license to get at it again.
Yeah.
That's almost like any free-to-play shooter out there right now. It's just
Except
you
for
can
you
play the
pay
game.
$60 for it instead of
Well, I mean, like Battlefield
$60
Heroes.
pay another $5 here.
The latest Battlefield Online experience, whatever that's called, is they do that where you pay for weapons, and I think it's
the Battlefield free to play.
Yeah, that is such a
but
joke.
That's the point. It's free to play,
But not free to win. Pay to win? Free to play, pay
free
to
to
win?
yeah, free to play, pay to win.
free to play, not free to enjoy.
Free to play, impossible to enjoy. But I mean, on the other side of the coin too, I mean, there is a reason why that they put all the content on the disc and they charge you to unlock it. Because what if you're playing against somebody and they have the character and you don't? That's an extra download time you have to incur to render their character. And that that definitely alleviates some
having
of
a
it.
patch, though, right?
That's so true. I mean, but it's all on the disc already. Yeah,
they do it with
when
they do that with pretty much any game.
They included Darth Vader and Yoda, and they flip-flopped them for the versions, and they had a patch that you downloaded, and it's like, this is the patch that lets you play as Darth Vader on the Xbox. It was that simple.
Yeah, I just think it's a bad move overall, and I think that Capcom's response to this statement was pretty posh. They said, while Capcom, this is their official statement, while Capcom is sorry that some of its fans are not happy about the chosen method of delivery for the DLC, we believe that this method will provide more flexible and efficient gameplay throughout the game's lifecycle. There is effectively no distinction between DLC being locked behind the disc and available for unlocking at a later date, or being available through a full download at a later date other than delivery mechanism. And that I have to call them out on because that is a load of crap.
What's the point, though?
Huge difference.
To make its life cycle better?
It's not DLC if it's already on the disc.
Yeah.
The correction there.
DLC implies downloadable.
The whole point of DLC is for it to be separate. It's something you add as an afterthought. You don't do that. I mean, I don't want to say it's like nobody does it, so you shouldn't do it. It's just, it's kind of dumb to do.
There's a reason that nobody does that.
Because it's dumb. Because you're ripping people off.
Exactly.
Now, I can understand some games even done it where you buy the game and then you have like a second disc that comes with it. It's like, or you can buy the second disc with all the extra stuff on there. Some games have done that, but this is putting that on one disc. It should be yours.
I honestly think, though, that the government is going to get involved in this, and they're going to make a stance on this, whether or not it is legal for them to include content on a disc that you can't physically access, even though you own it under the first sale doctrine. But you need to pay for a key to unlock it.
That's one of the problems with these set of laws is they haven't quite caught up to where technology is.
Yeah, it's the same thing with DMCA. It's an old law for an old system.
Exactly.
It needs a patch.
The U.S. government needs a patch.
Yeah, well, according to some companies, it might need a hard reset, but we'll take a patch for the time being.
Currently, U.S. copyright law under the first sale doctrine says that a person owns the content on the disc insofar as they're allowed to sell it, lend it out, give it away, or copy it to back it up.
For a backup.
Game publishers completely nullify that entire law through license agreements that they make you agree to when you first put in the game every time. So how is that possible that by pushing the A button to start the game and agreeing to this block of text
that nobody reads,
it's now...
They make it way too easy to skip past that text, too.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, it's you can't play the game unless you agree to it. I mean,
exactly.
There's a lot of things I'm sure people would look into and be like, well, I really don't agree with that, but I can't play this fun game unless I do.
The game that you paid $60 for.
Exactly.
Right.
You might as well have this agreement up front before you even pay the money.
That's actually a pretty good idea, because I mean, how is it all right that you can just push a button and nullify a law that is in place?
Yeah, it's a little bit too easy. It's like holding B to cancel an evolution. Like it just...
This is the press B. They made it simpler.
All right, but in all honesty, this is like complete crap and it needs to go.
Yeah. I think that the whole point of even making Street Fighter cross Tekken and Tekken cross Street Fighter in itself is a stupid idea for a game.
I think... Go ahead, sorry, finish your thought.
The thing that I don't get, which is what they were saying about how like keeping it on the disc is going to keep the life cycle of the game more fluent. What happens when they release Ultimate Street Fighter Cross Tekken or Street Fighter Cross Tekken Ultimate or whatever?
Street Fighter Cross Tekken Arcade Edition.
Or Arcade Edition, Ultimate Edition, Special Edition, Collector's Edition,
Ultimate Arcade, Collector's Edition,
Mega Edition, Fighting Edition. It's like it's not
non-fighting edition.
Collector's Fighting Edition. Capcom's done this before. They did this with Super Street Fighter and Street Fighter 4 or whatever they called it, Super Street Fighter 4.
All right, let's move on from this dead horse.
Yes,
in a second.
Okay, Riggs has got one last point to make.
I think fighting games are pretty much, coming to the end of their lifespan, just like platformers did, a couple years back, because fighting games have become dull and boring, and the only place left for a fighting game to go is just to make one Uber game that includes every character from every game ever. That's why they're making these crossovers, is because they don't have anything else to do. So,
they're out of ideas.
We're completely out of ideas, so let's just combine these two series where it's just the last game over again, but now you can play as these other characters.
Yeah, in a different engine.
They're taking the Madden football game approach to pumping out new games.
But I think this is like the one thing, though, that's pretty much staving that genre from complete and total obliteration.
Sounds kind of like the Koi thing. Anybody?
Fighting games are no longer mainstream. They're their own little niche thing of people who love fighting games. And
I mean, there's to be honest, there are still the two franchises that are still relevant are Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I don't even think that Tekken is relevant anymore in the
Soul
mainstream.
Calibur is relevant either?
I don't really think so.
I know a lot of people, Kevin and Lex, who are not fighting game enthusiasts, that both bought Soul Calibur, but didn't buy Street Fighter, didn't buy Mortal Kombat.
I guess you could call it a
I don't play
close
fighting
third.
games for fighting games. I play Soul Calibur because I like Soul Calibur. I like Soul
Kevin,
Calibur.
quick question. How do you spell Soul Calibur?
What, Ben?
How do you spell Soul Calibur?
It changes every year.
Let's move on to
If you
some
have to make up their
Halo.
mind. In this edition, the C in Calibur is capitalized.
Right there.
Last year, I think it was lowercase, and the year before that, it was all just one word.
All right, guys, we're going to move on to some Halo because I think everybody's pretty excited when you get a Statacular that Bungie just drops onto you. And we got quite the Statacular. And there is some... if you saw the post go up on GenGame or Bungie or anywhere else on the internet, you could see how much time people wasted playing Halo.
Wasted.
Or actually, no. I should say relished in playing
Yes.
Halo. Loved, enjoyed. Since, like, these numbers are so astronomical. Like, Halo playtime in minutes. We're in the billions. 123,611,776,794. And that's just an estimate. And that was at a snapshot when they officially handed off stat tracking to 343 Industries.
Who then dropped the ball and all of that data was lost. No, I don't know.
That
That'd
would
be funny, though.
That would really suck if that happened. And I think what's most hilarious is the Statacular medals that they kept track of. So
How many stakes do they owe people?
they owe a lot of stake. That's
a blue cow equals 10,000 cows.
So they owe 382 million.
Luke owes a couple steak dinners.
Yeah, Luke's in a little bit of debt here.
That's funny.
In years, it's 235,000 years.
167 whole cows.
Holy cow! I had to say it.
Oh,
Holy
Benny.
cow.
But in all honesty, like, this is just, it's so crazy to see how much people have played in the series and how the series has grown and flourished and never really skipped a beat. I mean, you look at the average numbers per month here. On Halo 2, it was 500 million. Halo 3, 1.4 billion. Halo Reach still strong at 1.5 billion. And then
It's a lot of dead
Firefight,
Spartans.
yeah, a lot of dead Spartans and dead elites. Not so much in Halo Reach, but Halo 3
mostly
there were
dead Spartans.
a lot of dead elites in Halo 3.
I
Yes.
think its prime was in Halo 3 though. Like I think most amount of people played that. So
Well,
That was
yeah,
the
because
one I really got into was Halo 3.
I mean, you look at the kills per title. I mean, Halo 3 still outpaces it by a nice 200%. But in a year or two, it might even out. But they are going to release Halo 4 later this year. So that'll give Halo Reach actually the shortest lifespan on the market.
Unless you want to argue ODSTs.
Well,
Lifespan,
they lumped
they're talking
they lumped
multiplayer, so it's
ODS
not really-
they lumped ODST
Yeah.
with Halo 3 because it was the
ODST
same multiplayer.
was just co-op and firefight,
Yeah,
which was
and
basically
then-
just me playing single player a lot by myself. Because no one else wanted to play.
Oh, do I still have ODST? I don't know if I got rid of ODST.
I dug the campaign in ODST.
I beat the campaign like 8-10 times or something in French.
It had the most interesting campaign out of them. I will give them that. And I'm really excited to see where 343 is going to take the series.
Hopefully up, not down.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know you watch the vid doc. I know Riggs doesn't want to watch the vid doc, so we're not going to talk about it too much. But
Okay.
I'm just
that
gonna
could be a
say-
whole separate podcast. Is a
yeah,
Halo
it's
cast.
going to be awesome. At least so far, it looks that way, and it's really making my hopes get really amped up. And if this game does not deliver, I will be severely disappointed, and I will lose all hope in 343 and Microsoft.
And I will laugh at you. Ha ha ha.
Yep. Alrighty.
moving
On, because I think that just absolutely blew my mind in stats and whatnot, and we kind of need a refresher here. Let's talk about Nintendo beating its chest, because Nintendo beating its chest about just about anything. People actually listen now because they kicked everybody's butt with the Wii, even though it was underpowered. It was plasticky. Was that what was that motion, Benny?
Hmm?
Oh, I thought you made a motion. I saw something at the corner of my eye.
Oh no, I'm just reading this next article and go on.
But developers are claiming that the Wii U is going to focus on play, not on the numbers. And by the numbers, they mean how fast it is, what kind of processors in there, how much memory, storage, how many controllers it supports, how many people you can give a blowjob at the same time. They're not focused on that. They're focused on, okay, can I control the game? Well, good. Okay, that's all that's important.
I gotta
With
hand
the
it to you,
location?
Trevor. I was kind of drifting off there, starting to lose interest, and then you brought me right back.
But I mean, developers are saying that the system's weaker, even though like we've heard reports earlier saying, oh, the system's supposed to be 1.5 to 2 times stronger than the current generation systems. But do you think it's going to matter for Nintendo, or do you think the system's just going to sell like hotcakes because it's a Wii?
Everything that Nintendo makes sells insanely because of Nintendo fanboys.
I can agree with that.
I just think that Nintendo's had the market to people. I mean, look at the people our age and older, even. Our meaning like closer to me and you, Trevor. What'd you grow up with? Kevin. Did you grow up with Sony's device? Did you grow up with Microsoft's device? You had Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Were you the sad child that grew up with an Atari Jaguar?
It's like the Disney Corporation. Man. They hook the kids when they're young, and then they keep them forever. You know?
Yes, I grew up with Atari and TurboGrafx.
That's a shame.
And a Virtual Boy.
Well, the Virtual Boy wasn't like... It was a good idea, but it's just horrible execution.
I got the Virtual Boy when I was like 11.
Regardless, we're talking about this generation coming up and how many names Nintendo's going to take and how many butts they're going to kick.
One problem. When I say they're focused on play, do you think the first thing they should do is move the location of the other circle pad? Because I don't like it. I don't think it's going to be comfortable playing like that.
It might be.
To be honest, looking at it, they could really make that. They can make that topmost button actually a pretty easy access button for shooters. I don't know. That's just my opinion. It could work.
I think
because your finger actually, your palm will actually rest right underneath it. So could be something. I don't know.
It could work. But what I'm thinking of in terms of a developer standpoint, if it's focusing on play versus the hardware, I mean, developers might not be as excited about working on it, and additionally, they might not want to work with this new type of, combination of hardware and software to get it to work with the tablet and stuff like that to make it like stand out. You know, it didn't really work out with the Wii stuff where it was like, basically it was, you had your Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 developers, and then you would toss off the Wii PS2 DS game to some other studio, and they would go ahead and, like, instead of pressing A, you swing your remote to the left and you punch someone or something like that. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's one thing that I'm thinking about.
My biggest concern about the Wii U is, are we going to see all those third-party titles coming to it? I mean, so far we've gotten confirmation from THQ that Darksiders 2 is going to make it, which is... Darksiders is a very graphically intense game.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful game, and it's got a lot of stuff going on at the same time. And if they're going to bring that style of game to the system, I kind of think that this report has got a little bit of...
credibility to it?
A little less credibility. If Vigils is going to have no problem bringing the game to it. I don't know if they've started development on the Wii U system yet, but obviously they have to have dev kits in hand already.
Probably, definitely.
Let me here are some confirmed titles for the
Arkham
Wii U.
City, right?
Ninja Gaiden 3.
Yes.
Batman Arkham City.
Yes.
Darksiders 2 and the as yet unlaunched Aliens Colonial Marines.
Which I have no idea about that, but it still sounds fun.
Which I'm looking forward to. I saw it at E3 last year.
All those games are...
And I was pretty excited.
They're all pretty graphically intense, so...
Yeah.
Not to mention Assassin's Creed 3. But
if
whether it's going to be a launch
Wii U can capture that market, then they're golden. I mean, if you look at all the games that haven't been able to be released on the Wii, because it just can't handle it, like Skyrim or
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty was on the Wii, man.
No.
Oh my God! You can't even count that because it looks so bad and horrible. It wasn't even
on the Wii.
It wasn't even developed by Infinity Ward. It doesn't count, in my opinion.
It was still Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
I'm sorry, that does not count. Why was Modern Warfare 2 not on the Wii?
Because I don't know.
Because they couldn't make it run. They could not make the game run on the Wii. and they had to strip the game down almost entirely to make it run on the Wii.
And yet it runs on the Wii.
Let me follow the logic here. They made Modern Warfare 3, but not Modern Warfare 2. So you're saying
and not even Modern Warfare 1.
Consoles.
They didn't even make Modern Warfare 1 on the Wii.
So in comparison,
and
to the
no Reflex Edition does not count.
So 3 is worse than 2. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, across the board, because they made it work on the Wii when they couldn't make the other two.
They literally shipped the game to another developer, who then ported the game to the Wii. I never played the edition for the Wii because of how turned off I was because of Reflex Edition. That was a joke. And how much the Wii does not handle shooters well. So I kind of just avoided it like the plague.
You look at like a cross-platform game, like, I don't know, like Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 or something like that, and you look at like the Wii version or the PS2 version, and it's like, gee, the same studio made the Wii and the PS2 version. Some other studio made the DS version. And then the LucasArts or whoever they got it for Xbox 360, PS3. I don't know. That's like the trend. And I hope that the Wii U could break from that trend.
I hope so, too.
They might.
If the Wii U could break from that trend, it'll be a success for Nintendo. It'll be a success. It'll be a triumph for gamers. And it'll be a welcome addition to home theaters because it's one less device that they'll have. Because, I mean, Nintendo's positioned themselves very nicely as the family-friendly console. They got everything you need on. You got Netflix. You got a great selection of kids' games. Most of the games are E-rated or T-rated. And there's not a lot of questionability on it. It's just, here, go for it. You don't have to ask questions with it. Like, when I see people come into my store to buy a new system, they flock to the Wii because, look at all the games. Look at all the E-rated games. These are going to be great for my kids.
For about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell them.
Sad reality. They might be great for kids, but they aren't great.
They sigh.
You know what? I think the Wii has a kind of unintended secondary market that is amazing. And that is drunk people. Drunk people have an amazing time playing all those stupid little crap Wii games.
That's like the secondary market for Rock Band.
Yep.
Exactly.
So the drunk gamer is the new emerging market that developers need to focus on.
All right. Speaking of developers, let's. Do we want to finish up on this, or do we want to?
I think we're good.
All right. Let's.
I had one thing that I wanted to mention earlier, but I didn't want to cut anybody off.
All right, go for it.
Evan was mentioning having a hard time getting developers to come to the Wii U since it's not even as powerful as the 360 or PS3, according to rumors. And Nintendo is going to solve that the same way they solved getting developers to come to the Wii, and that is by throwing their millions of Nintendo dollars at the developers and giving them incentives. The same thing that they did with the Wii for the third-party developers.
Yeah.
Hey, develop this game for us, and we'll give you $50,000 as an incentive.
In Nintendo dollars.
Yep.
How does that convert?
Not as well as the yen to a dollar.
Or are they called Nintendo dollars? Because I feel like that's what they should be called.
The market for that is you trade $10 for special favors you can't get anywhere else.
All right, let's
move on. $10 on ClubNintendo.com.
I'm glad we got a humorous spin-off out of this, but I just meant Nintendo's bank account money.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's move on to Mr. FourZeroTwo. He's now 404 at Infinity Ward and Activision. See what I did there?
Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah, pretty clever. I thought I was proud of that, making that joke myself.
That was pretty good.
But the real
dead link.
The link itself is now 404.
The real story is, where is Robert Bowling going? Is he going over to Respawn to join some of his buddies that left Infinity Ward last year? Or is he off to do his own project? But for those of you who are living under a rock, Robert Bowling announced on Twitter that he is leaving his post as community. What was his official title? It was community something. Community manager.
Design and something.
Community manager and creative strategist.
He was the guy who whined on Twitter whenever people complained about games.
Yeah, more or less. But I give the guy a lot of respect because to represent a brand like Call of Duty, you gotta have like nerves of steel and the patience of, I don't know.
I think you just have to take
Several
up
saints.
alcoholism.
But essentially,
Gambling.
it's he's uprooted his position, and we want to know where he's going. So we will probably talk about more of Robert Bowling on future episodes when he announces his next move on Twitter. All right, let's move on to some of the other stories going on tonight. Over on Xbox Live, Microsoft recently announced that more people watch things on Xbox Live than play. Thoughts, guys?
Go
How
figure.
about that?
How about that?
Because there are a lot of people who have Xboxes just to watch things, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's a great streaming media box. And to celebrate that, Xbox Live is going to stream the 4th annual Revolver Golden Gods Awards show. It's going to be available live and on demand 24 hours afterwards. So if you don't catch it live, you can catch the recording. And I think this is kind of a play for Microsoft to start teasing what they could do with their own kind of television network. Imagine a world where you can get a television service through Xbox Live.
Imagine a world where you can watch things on Twitch through Xbox Live.
You mean already with the Comcast app on Xbox Live?
Well, I mean, I'm talking more direct sale. Like, you're going to subscribe to Microsoft TV service. Or if it's bundled into Xbox Live.
Well, do you have any experience with the Comcast app? Any of you guys?
No, I don't have Comcrap.
Comcast doesn't exist over here.
And when he says crap, he literally means it. It is... Okay, I'm not going to hate on it because it just turns into another thing like, oh, we hate Cablevision. And
Yeah, it's like Cablevision.
That's pretty much what it turns into.
Comcast that was voted to have the fastest average broadband internet speed nationwide.
Oh, you mean
And the worst
Fios.
customer service ever.
Verizon Fios.
Fastest average nationwide.
Yeah, Verizon
broadband
Fios.
were all words that you should have listened to in that sentence. Fios is not broadband.
Yes, it is.
No.
Broadband is classified as anything that is technically 100... No, 1 megabit and up is broadband.
I wouldn't.
Broadband is a
say it's
specific
nationwide,
connection
then.
cut type that comes over coaxial cable. When you get into fiber optic, that's no longer broadband. That's fiber optic.
Let's just say if Fios were nationwide, me and Trevor would have it.
Well, it's...
That's like saying everything that goes faster than 30 miles per hour is a car. So that means that all jet planes are now cars.
That's our cheat
Because
code.
it goes faster than 30 miles an hour. Your logic does not compute, Trevor.
When I'm in a car, I go faster than 30 miles per hour.
No, you don't.
Therefore, making me a car.
Kevin is now a car. Great. Congratulations.
Anyways, with the Comcast app, you can watch any show that's aired live within the past 24 hours or before. I think it comes into the app like 4 to 6 hours after the show actually goes live on the schedule, and you can watch anything you want to on demand. So that's where I get my Phineas and Ferb on.
You know, I'm not going to judge.
That's one of the best shows on television today, man.
It is a sad world we live in.
The thing is probably true.
You're not going to watch that new Avatar series?
Dude, I watched that 4 times already. It is amazing.
I actually just downloaded it on the PS3 because we watched it on some crap website that was in like 240p.
Coronation.
And I found it
Which
in
got taken down.
Wait, it
I
did? I
found it
thought that
on
was an
the-
official site.
It just redirects to Tumblr.
That is so unfortunate.
I think it does.
I thought that-
Oh,
do
it
some,
looks pretty official to me.
Some investigating.
Maybe they just...
Oh, it was official.
Yeah.
Yeah, coronation.com now goes to coronation.tumblr.com.
This is now the Legend of Korra podcast.
Yes, it is.
Moving back to the other topic I had.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. They're streaming Revolver Golden Gods, which I would actually like to watch, but I'm busy that night.
Well, you can catch it afterwards. It's on demand.
Oh, never mind. I was trying to skate around the fact that I don't actually have an Xbox, but I think you were making me admit that. Also talk about think about the possibility of streaming other musical events on Xbox Live. Maybe popular concerts that are coming up, or this will make George happy. Maybe Katy Perry's got a new concert, and he wants to go and watch that.
Well, I mean, like for example, well, this is what Google did recently. They threw their Google money at Ultra, and they said, "Hey, we want to stream your event." Okay, cool. And they streamed the all 3 days of the Ultra Music Festival live on YouTube. And they switched between stages, and they showed different acts. Obviously, they didn't show everything, but they showed a good chunk of artists live. For free.
Yeah, I think it would be awesome and relevant to get video games live streamed on Xbox.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
So any major event that could happen in the future could now be streamed over Xbox Live or any kind of console, or not just Xbox Live.
Perhaps on a Steam box.
Steam box?
No one took the bait.
Steam box?
No.
Oh man, I really want that to be reality at some point.
Yeah, you can't just let him you can't just say Steam box and expect Trevor to not have a point to put about it.
All right, let's move on to some free stuff, because everybody likes free, right? Who here doesn't like free stuff?
Me.
All right, so Riggs, you're not allowed to talk about this.
I was the one that gave you the link about this.
But you don't like free stuff, apparently. So if you don't like free stuff, you can't talk about it.
Heard you don't like free stuff.
But if you're interested in Microsoft Flight, you can now download it for free through Steam. So it's actually a double-sided win. A Microsoft game not going through Games for Windows Live, or exclusively, available through the Steam client for free. This is big.
Yay.
It's pretty big.
This is Microsoft realizing that their own service isn't good enough. Maybe EA should take a page out of their playbook and kind of scrap Origin.
And put everything
+1. Actually, plus 9,000.
Google plus 9,000?
Everything on Steam.
I have a bunch of free games on Origin that I refuse to play.
Because of their own Origin.
Because it's on Origin, yeah. The only reason I installed that piece of crap was for the Battlefield 3 beta, which was disappointing.
Very.
I don't even think I have Origin installed on my computer anymore.
Did you know Google has its own Play service now? For stuff like that?
Yes.
Is anybody going to use it? No.
You mean Google Play?
Google Plus.
Google Play
yeah.
is just a combination
it's
of the
the
Chrome
Android
Web
market.
Store and the Android market.
Pretty much. Actually,
It's on
exactly.
your computer, which is dumb. Anyways.
All right, so if you're into more free stuff, Razer's doing a promotion from now until Easter. I believe that's when the contest wraps up.
It makes sense.
So you have
Where
5
you can
days.
get a basket full of Razer goods for free. Just sign up. There's you go to razorzone.com/Easter2012/US if you're in the United States, and you could throw your name in the hat for a chance to win a lot of cool swag. I don't know if you guys won. What do you want most out of this basket?
A razor
1 second, I'm filling this out right
to
now.
shave my beard.
I want the mouse pad so I can stop using the little
gmail.com.
one with pictures of horses on it.
I want that keyboard and that headset.
Razer keyboards have a real history of being complete crap.
Well, I have a Logitech one, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I want that weird button thing on the left too. I don't know what that is.
That's
Hey, if
the
I
mix
don't
amp
check-
for the Tiamat headset.
Oh,
Hey,
Yeah.
if I don't check the receive email updates, do I not register for this? Is that
No,
how
you're
they're
fine.
baiting me?
That's
Okay.
an optional thing.
Okay, because I don't want to see them baiting me into signing up for that. It's like, oh, you can't
But
win.
then
unless you
again, I only found out about it because I receive email updates.
So you should probably go ahead and check that box.
They don't email
Is
you
that-
very often.
Is that a why?
Yeah, they have a really obscure capture thing there.
Oh, that
It
was
took me 3 or
worse. Come
4
on.
times to
Oh,
register.
that's not even a word.
almost looks like a
How many
logo.
numbers? Stacked. Okay, I can read that. Okay.
All right, so Kevin, have you tried out the new Super Meat Boy yet for iPhone?
No, I have not. I try to stay away from games that frustrate the crap out of people. Normal games frustrate the crap out of me, so that in itself would just mess with me. So no, I haven't had a chance to try it.
But if you're into frustratingly hard games, Team Eat has brought Super Meat Boy to your iPhone, or iPod Touch, or technically even your iPad, or anything that really runs iOS.
Anything that starts with I.
Except for the older ones, because it will not run on an older one.
Oh.
Super Meat Boy.
Which is pretty cool.
I haven't finished the campaign on that yet. I could go ahead and do that. Thank you for reminding me.
All right, Kev. I know you brought this to my attention.
I brought this. Yeah.
So I'll let you introduce this one and run with it.
This is all kinds of bad.
Oh God, you're really setting this one up.
Yeah. So here's the headline from Digital Trends: Soul Calibur 5 missing 3/4 of planned story, says producer. 3/4 of the story. Now, for those of you who haven't played the game, which is everybody here, the story mode of Soul Calibur 5 consisted of 20 missions. You played as 3 separate characters. You played as one character in one mission, and for the rest of the missions, you flip-flop between annoying character A and annoying character B. Annoying character A was Patroclus with horrible voice acting. Annoying character B was Pyrrha with horrible voice acting. Basically, the story summed down
Hang on,
into...
Kev. Does anybody have good voice acting?
If you put them in
Annoying
Japanese,
character C?
not bad.
Okay, so the Japanese voice acting's okay?
Yes.
Okay, so if
Only
I play the
because
game,
you can't understand
play it
them.
in Japanese.
Yeah, well, you put the subtitles on. But they're basically whiny little kids that were Sophidia's children from the other game that were mentioned, and they're like the new characters for this. So basically, you run through the missions, and one of them is actually just a cutscene. So you technically really only have 19 missions. The story itself is like it's dialogue, but like you get a screen with like the text at the bottom as they say it. Then it's another screen. It's almost like a motion comic without the motion. So you get still images, and then you do a fight, and then you go to the next one, and then like every so often you get a cutscene. So there's like 4 cutscenes altogether. They're very convoluted and confusing, and it just feels really rushed and lazy. So basically the only way to get the actual Soul Calibur 5 story, as it was sort of intended, is buying the collector's edition, opening it up, and
reading the book.
Reading, not only is it not the story
Kev,
book,
your
it's the
video
art
froze.
book.
If you wanna unclick and reclick your video.
My video?
Yeah.
Did it just break itself? Are we good now?
I believe
Loading.
it's loading.
Loading.
So we might have just inadvertently broke everything.
That's great.
Well, that kind of sounds like the endings of what game was that? Twisted Metal 2, where
Sounds
you
like the
just got a
endings of Marvel's
series of still images with voiceovers from the characters.
Yeah, but that's the whole story.
That
The
was
whole
all
story
of
is
the
bad.
that was all of the non-gameplay in Twisted Metal 2, but that was a PS1 game.
Yeah, and this is an Xbox 360 game. They had plenty
The
of
expectations are a little bit higher there.
Yeah.
No,
Especially when you have a
no.
roster of trimmed down characters, you'd think that they'd be able to focus more on each individual character.
Didn't they have special characters in this game too?
They had Ezio. But, like, the story of Ezio isn't even there. It's just like, oh, by the way, you can fight as Ezio. You unlocked him.
There's no point then.
There's
Oh, man.
no story involved. You follow Pyrrha, Patroclus, and Zwei. Zwei. You play as him in one mission. That's
It
it.
sounds
Wait,
like
wait,
the
wait,
dumbest character name ever.
ZWEY?
No, Zwei. Zwei.
Yeah.
Zwei.
His name is
Zvine.
spelled that way in the game.
Oh, okay. So the W is pronounced like a V. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's German or some crap. Basically, though, if you read the art book, you get the story synopsis for every character. The art book that you can only get from the collector's edition, I think. I'd imagine it wouldn't ship the normal game. It's too big. It just, I don't get it. Like, why would you do this?
Well, when you're competing against awesome games like Street Fighter across what, Tekken was it?
Yeah, Street Fighter Cross
Street Fighter
Tekken.
Cross Tekken.
Yeah, you gotta pump out games faster than they can.
Which I'm sure has a riveting story mode. Both of these universes collide for an epic
you have
battle.
no idea. Like, this game really sucks you in, and you just...
I mean, when you look at like the story of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, that's pretty much what it was. You fought like an arcade mode. You fought like 5 or 6 guys. Then you got a still image, and that was it. And that's basically all you had for that game. I'm disappointed.
You're very disappointed.
I'm disappointed in Namco Bandai.
Kevin is disappointed.
To not be disappointed would be disappointment.
Yeah. I mean, coming from Soul Calibur, though, like games that emphasize story and bonus modes, having a stripped down character roster, new characters that really are boring, 20 missions that are really 19.
19 in a cutscene.
So
19 in a
if you
cutscene.
had the full fourth of that, you're gonna have another 3 more missions that aren't really missions. Then are you really missing out on that?
What? 3 missions?
I was just saying, if you had the full 4/4 of the story, you get 3 more bonus missions that are just cutscenes.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you get like 2 extra cutscenes. But like even if you beat the arcade mode, basically it's just they give you random enemies to fight. After you beat them, you don't get any special dialogue, you don't get any closing thing. Like the big story point of Soul Calibur.
The story sounds worse than the ending to Mass Effect 3.
It's horrible. They should do what they're going to do with Mass Effect 3 and release the story. Like re-release the whole story.
Like this is like 2 games now where developers feel like, "Oh, we really balls this one up."
Yeah, let's go
Like
fix it. Although I don't
seriously,
think
like
Namco
this is
Bandai
bad.
can do it. They're not going to do it though. They're not going to change it,
Oh yeah, because they're not going to get the huge outcry that the fans of Mass Effect 3 exerted.
which is a shame. It
All right,
really
so if
is.
you really want them to fix this game, guys, hit up Reddit, start spamming their Twitter, start getting loud, smashing a few windows. Oh, no. Don't smash in windows. That's not a good idea. It's a good way to get arrested, though.
Don't smash anything.
Smash all the things.
Remember, Gen Game does not take responsibility for anything you may or may not do.
I'm just mad, especially because I bought the collector's edition, which was basically, as me and Riggs deduced before the podcast, basically a repurposing of Fable 3's unbought collector's edition cases.
Do you have that handy, Riggs?
I don't. She put it back.
Ah.
But it's the exact same little book.
It's this book. Can you still see my
Yep,
video?
we got your video, so.
It's
The
this
gold,
book.
the gold leaf on the faces of the book and on the spine are different. Other than that, it's exactly the
The
same.
logo is different.
It's the same
it has like a
box.
drop thing. This is all you get. This DVD, the making of Soul Calibur 5, which I'm sure, like, why would you put this in if you cut 3/4 of the story? Why would you put a making of DVD?
Maybe they should have put it on the disc when they launched it, and then you just like pay for the
You had
extra
to
stuff later.
pay for something to
Yeah,
unlock it.
they should have just shipped
that's
it
what's gonna
on the
happen.
disc and then had you unlock it for an additional $30.
Yep.
This is your
So-
story guide, though. Your story guide's an
Three-quarters
art
of the
book.
game is locked behind a secret paywall that we'll find out about in 3 or 4 months.
You get the soundtrack.
They're gonna release a DLC. You buy it. It's like a 1 meg download. Like, what the heck is this? Oh, there's the rest of the game. But what the heck is this?
There's your story for Siegfried. It's a text blurb right here. There's your gameplay.
What's the quote on there? Let me read that.
The quote? So
Yeah.
the time has come.
That's groundbreaking right there.
He's the only person that has that. Oh no. Algol, I'm coming for you. That's Mitsurugi's.
I'm coming for you.
What I found incredibly stupid as well in the story is that the nightmare of this game was basically just a cop-out of like, oh man, we killed Nightmare in the last game, we gotta reinvent him for this one. So what do? They get a guy from the Holy Roman Empire named Dumas. D-U-M-A-S. If you phonetically say out D-U-M-A-S, this main villain,
it's
Nightmare's
pronounced
name
Dumas.
is Dumbass. His name is Dumbass.
I'm
What is
sorry.
that from?
It's pronounced
that-
Dumas.
Pronounced Dumas.
I know that quote. That's from a movie. What
It's
is
from a
that
commercial.
It's from a commercial. I remember that one.
It was a car insurance commercial too, or something.
That's
legit.
pretty old, but I remember that. It was hilarious.
Excuse me,
Why would you
it
mean
is pronounced Dumas.
in this game is
It's
pronounced
A&W root beer commercial.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
First time I read
Good
it,
soda.
I was like, whoa.
Links in the chat.
They called him dumbass. I can't believe it.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's amazing.
All right. So, guys, who here's got a 3DS?
I do.
All right. So, Kevin, have you picked up Kid Icarus yet?
No,
You should.
I should.
It's like
What?
game of the year for the 3DS right now. Like, you should go to the store right now after the podcast. You'll have exactly 15 minutes when we wrap up this podcast to go out to the store and pick up your copy of Kid Icarus. Oh, forget your white version. No, you got to get Kid Icarus Uprising because it
I
is
have,
awesome.
Out
It
of
is.
the 2 3DS games I have, it's Super Mario 3D Land and Mario Kart 7. And that's it.
Both
I haven't
good,
played them in a
but
while.
Kid Icarus, you got to pick it up because it's pretty damn good.
I play Street Pass
Dark
more.
Souls.
The graphics are actually pretty damn impressive on the game for a 3DS title. The 3D though is absolutely don't even turn it on. I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're holding the system, because you're going to move the system out of the sweet spot so often you will get sick in seconds. But if you're using the stand, turn the 3D on and crank it up.
How does it ship with the stand?
It comes with the stand in the box.
Comes in like a big box?
Yeah, it comes in a double-sized box.
Does it come in like a giant gold leaf box like this?
No, it's kind of like cardboard and white and
Did
blue.
they at least scratch off the Soul Calibur 5 logo?
Yeah, at least they have at least they did that.
Well, that's good.
But it's actually pretty. It's a very impressive game, and the online, while limited to only 2 modes, has a great amount of depth because of the strategy. Like you could in the team deathmatch mode, as I call it, or light versus dark as they call it. They each team you could pick whatever weapon you want, and whatever weapon you choose has a value. And when you're defeated, that value is deducted from your life bar. So it really heavily favors nobody. Like you could have a really awesome weapon, let's say it's worth 500, and you're
die
going up
once.
against a team of people that have like 100 value weapons. You'd have to kill them, each of them. You'd have to kill one of them 5 times to equate one of your deaths.
Wow. That weighs it pretty well.
Yeah, so there's a good amount of weighting to it. And the free for all mode is just a lot of fun. I did a 4-person free for all at work the other day. Oh god, it is just so fun. It's like playing Star Fox, but it worked better because there wasn't cameras involved.
So there I was at work, and I had time to sit down and set up a 4-player match of Kid Icarus multiplayer.
Yep.
Wish I could do that at work.
I feel bad for the 3 other 12-year-olds to play with.
Ooh. We were all at least 20. It's a sad thing. We're all
I don't
freaking
know if that's
nerdgasming.
better
over
or
it.
worse.
Me neither.
If we were able to pick the game up and have fun with it, despite like the target age of the game, the game's got solid gameplay, and it's tough to argue that. The controls do take a little to get used to, but overall, it has to be on your must pick up list for the 3DS. All right, let's wrap up here with some Super Monday Night Combat. I think everybody here's been in the beta. I don't think anybody hasn't been in the beta. So,
Did we get George in the beta?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Oh no, George. I don't know about George.
George only plays League of Legends.
There you go.
No, because if we let him start playing Monday Night Combat, he'd claim to be boss at that too.
Oh,
George, I'm gonna sidetrack real quick to a little George topic.
Georgism.
oh, great.
George wanted Counter-Strike Go beta key so bad, and he was begging for it for anyone and everyone for weeks on end. And Aaron, Aaron, one day was like, he logged into Steam and he's like, "Hey, I randomly got in the beta, and I have 1 key to give away." And George begged him for it for about half an hour, and then he said okay, and then he sent the key to me.
Oh God, what a troll! Oh,
And he said okay, and George waited like 10 minutes, and then he was like, "So when are you going to send the key? So when are you going to send me the key?" And it's like he sent it to me instead. And he's like, "I don't believe you." And then he saw me in Steam, open up the game, and he got so pissed he turned off Skype and didn't come back on for like 3 or 4 hours.
When was this?
I'd probably rage that hard too.
When was this?
This is probably a month to a month and a half ago.
Would it be
okay,
great
because-
as if Riggs had one key to give away for getting
Follow
a
up.
gift and gave it to me?
Follow up. He owes me a big favor then because I ended up giving him my extra key. So, George, I'm coming to
Really?
collect.
Bum bum bum.
Okay, so who here has played Super,
I did
Super
not know
Monday
that
Night
was
Combat?
going on. Like, okay, you can have
So
it.
let's get back to the topic at hand here, which is Super Monday Night Combat.
At first, I thought it was a Super Nintendo game. Anybody else?
I thought it was gonna be a throwback style game when I first heard the title, and then I saw the game and I'm like, oh, this is just Monday Night Combat, a little bit of tweaking here or there, and a lot more MOBA style.
Yeah,
I didn't.
which I both
didn't know
like
how
and
it worked.
dislike.
I don't know. How do you think the game is balanced so far? Do you think there's any major issues for the developers
There's
moving ahead?
constantly major issues because they're still tweaking it weekly.
Assassin's OP.
Assassin is every game I've played. The Assassin's OP, except for the games
I'm
where I
seriously waiting
have.
for them. I know it's going to happen, but I'm waiting for them to introduce like 12 to 18 more pros, and then introduce a league-style ban system.
That's what they need. That way you can
Everyone
get rid of
ban
the super
Assassin
OP guys that work
all the
together well.
time.
And that's Assassin.
It'll be Assassin and Gunner.
You ban one of those, like the
You
start.
ban the
chart.
melee classes.
Ban Assassin, ban Veteran, ban Gunner.
No, it'll be Assassin, Veteran, and Wascott.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay,
God.
that's better.
I hate Wascott.
He's such a freaking troll character.
He is.
The coin thing is just stupid.
People, and you shoot coins at them.
Exploding coins, like seriously, that's so bad. It's not even funny.
It would be okay if the coins had an arm time once they hit the ground, but they just explode as soon as they hit you, so you don't even have a chance to dodge them.
Well, no, it's they linger so long too.
Well, it's supposed to be used like a trap. It's not supposed to be
Like a
used
mine.
as an assault weapon.
They could at least be another color or something like that. They
Well,
look
if you
exactly
look closely,
the same.
they have
They
different
look pretty
designs
fake.
on the coins.
They look exactly the same though. Like if you're just running around for coins.
Yeah,
Well, then you need to play with your graphic settings higher, my friend.
I play with them pretty high.
or pay
With
Start
attention.
with the
a good
highest.
computer, they should be max. Just saying.
I was actually playing StarCraft 2, and somebody yelled at me in my stream, "What settings are you playing on?" Everything maxed out. It's like, you should play on medium or lower. I'm like, why?
Why would I do that?
Why would I do that when I have a Core i7 2600K, a GTX 460, plenty of horsepower to do this? Why would I artificially limit my gaming experience?
Because they're used to watching everybody else on Twitch TV playing in medium.
So
That's
true.
not how the pros do it. You gotta do like the pros do it, man. You didn't even need the pros layout, like with the really cruddy camera and the staticky microphone and
Trevor, you should underclock your processor to 1.5 gigahertz.
I would be able to put like a 100-watt power supply on my computer then.
They don't have any coolants either. Turn those off.
All right, let's.
You know how
unplug
molecules
it,
work.
too.
Hotter molecules move faster. So if you heat your computer up, it'll go faster.
Oh yeah, so we need to throw a couple ice cubes in there then.
Of course, yeah, to just to counterbalance and make sure that there's enough condensation happening, and
And you got to get that water in there to lube things up.
yeah. You know, it's funny. I've seen people like build computers and like have their whole thing in like baby oil, or like some like non-conductive liquid.
So to sum it up, Super Monday Night Combat is a great game,
And you should totally try it.
and you should totally try it out. It's free to play, and you will enjoy it.
Yes.
Free to play or pay to win.
It's actually I'm gonna put the title on this one, free to play.
All right.
Yeah,
Because-
it's not really. Well, it depends on whether Assassin's free that week or not.
Well, I'm gonna put
What's
my
every
foot down
other
and
week,
say
pretty
free to
much?
play on this one because there's not enough characters where it becomes severely unbalanced week to week.
And by the time it gets enough characters in there, some of the other characters should be cheaper to get anyway.
No, there's going to be another free-to-play game coming along.
They're doing a pretty good job so far of balancing the free pro rotation every week.
Yeah, you switch from one to the other. It's only like 10 or not 12. 12 is there?
I think it's 12.
Yeah, there's not too many right now, but I think it's almost time for us to wrap up.
Please do.
But we got one last thing. EA and Bank of America are vying for the worst company in America. Any comment on that one?
On one hand, Bank of America is a bank and people naturally hate banks. On the other hand, it's E3 and nobody likes E3.
EA.
EA.
Nobody likes E3.
Everyone loves
No
E3.
one goes.
Backtrack.
All right. Riggs, where can people find you online?
Me? Who's going?
Riggs.
Riggs.
Oh, Trevor, you don't know my Twitter?
No, you're supposed to say it yourself.
Yeah, I want to see if you remember it.
Yeah, it's IBRiggs19 on Twitter.
Don't read it off the monitor.
I'm not reading it off the monitor. See, I'm looking into the camera.
I had to remind him before the show. Gee, what's Riggs' name? You know Riggs'
All right.
Twitter name? And I was like, you mess it up every time.
All right, Kevin, where can people find you online? I know you got 4,000 handles.
At Shabazzle on Twitter.
All right. Benny. Mr. I can spell my Twitter.
You can follow me on Twitter at NightPhoenix16. It's NIGHTPHOENX16.
Thanks for watching Hyrocraft. Have a good night.
NIGHTONX.
And of course,
This is pretty much how it ends.
I am the host with the most, Trevor Mignani, at the Mags on Twitter, at the Mags on Twitch. You know me, you love me. Also the host of the Build Off, which is going to be coming back soon. We got a forum now on GenGame.net, GenGame.net/forum. We're starting a wiki to help you make your stream look better than ours. And that's GenGame.net/wiki. And you could edit that, sign in, make an account, make your contributions. We have a lot of pages that need to be made. And we hope this will become the definitive streaming guide. And we're constantly adding to it day by day. We're adding information about capture cards, software, streaming services, optimal settings, and we might add some graphics on there too for like sample overlays and stuff. You never know. You never know what you're going to get from us. But that's going to do it for the show. We want to thank you so much for watching. You could leave us a comment on the post when it goes up. You could follow us on Blip TV. You can subscribe in iTunes. And of course, you can always just catch it on the website at gengame.net. You can go right to the podcast tab and see all the latest episodes. But that's going to do it for the show. Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Damn it, Kevin.